Hey everybody, good morning. It's Saturday. We're going to be gathering tomorrow for worship, and we're going to be continuing our series in the book of Joshua and Joshua chapter 6. And as we've been cruising through Joshua, we have been seeing this picture of what it is to enter into the promised life, what it is to live by the resurrection power of Jesus, and to build our lives at the tomb. And we come to this incredible story in Joshua chapter 6, probably one of the more well-known stories in the Bible. It's Joshua and the Battle of Jericho, and the story of the children of God marching around the walls of Jericho for 7 days, and then those walls coming down. And so this is just one of those great stories that we're coming to, and it's a picture of a great picture of victory that we see in the Bible. You know, the Bible tells us in so many places that for us as followers of Jesus, our battle is against the world, the flesh, and the devil. And you know, the Old Testament is given to us to paint pictures for us so that we would see pictures of New Testament realities. And so it should just make sense that when we turn to the pages of the Old Testament, we would see pictures of victory for God's people over the world, the flesh, and the devil. So here they are. Let me just paint them for you. The book of Exodus tells us about the illustration of God's people's victory over the world. That happened when this happened, that they were released from slavery. They were freed from slavery in Egypt by the blood of the Passover lamb. They were spared from the angel of death. They crossed over through dry ground, through the Red Sea, and it was a picture of victory over the world, Egypt being this picture of victory over the world. And then there's also an Old Testament picture of victory over the flesh. And that victory happens also in the book of Exodus. It's another famous Bible story that you're going to remember the second I tell you. It's the battle of Joshua versus the Amalekites. And that story goes this way, that Joshua was down in the valley battling Amalek. It was the very first battle that the children of Israel had after coming out of the land of Egypt. And Moses was up on the mountainside looking down into the valley. And you'll recall that as they battled, the children of Israel were losing until Moses raised up the staff of the Lord. And as the staff of the Lord was held up, the children of Israel won victory down in the battle, led by Joshua. And it's this amazing picture. Amalek pictures the battle versus the flesh. So you have the battle versus the world, the battle versus the flesh, both victoriously won for the children of Israel. And as we come to Joshua chapter 6, we begin to see the battle versus the devil, the world, the flesh, and the devil. And Jericho pictures this amazing, actually the 7 nations that they're going to do battle with in the book of Joshua as they take the land of Canaan, as they conquered this promised land. Picture the children of Israel battling against principalities and powers and rulers over this dark world, like we see in Ephesians chapter 6. And so what happens? Well, you know the famous story, Joshua and the army and the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant and the rear guard coming behind them. They encircle the city for 6 days, marching around it. And then on the 7th day, they march around 7 times. And the Lord, the people of God give a shout, and the walls of Jericho come tumbling down. And God's people are victorious in this picture. And it's amazing that it says this. I want to read to you from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 30. It says this: by faith, Hebrews 11:30, by faith the walls of Jericho fell after they had been encircled for 7 days. And here's the amazing picture in our battle versus the devil, in our battle versus spiritual forces. We need to know this, that victory does not come by effort. Victory comes by faith. By faith, we are entering into the resurrection power of Jesus. And so Joshua chapter 6 incredibly paints this picture for us of this victory and of the victories to come. And we're going to take a closer look at what this means to have victory over spiritual forces. And so I'm excited to share God's word with you tomorrow. We're going to be gathering at 10 a.m. online on our Facebook page, via our YouTube page, via the website, ctkgibsons.com. I invite you to join us at 10 a.m. to share the stream on whatever social platform you're using. And we're going to just look at walls coming down, the story of walls coming down. And so I guess looking forward to seeing you online, and we're looking forward to being together actually physically soon. And so we're working on some of those details. And so I just want to encourage you to be reading ahead in Joshua chapter 6. And I also just want to say this to, spiritual forces of darkness in the evil realms. This is your less than 24-hour warning. We're gathering tomorrow at 10 a.m. to worship King Jesus, the captain of the Lord's armies. And we're looking to him for our victory. And so God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.